Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dubston, and you are here with me, thankfully, for our monthly I Ching forecast for the month of May 2026. Here we are. As always, we dip back, we look back, we reflect. So much learning that we can get from reflecting on the past. Last month, we had Hexagram 42, rapid increase, acceleration of opportunity, acceleration of movement, of flow, of ideas, of progress, of development, a massive intensification. The opportunity, like we were in the kayak, right, and we are going through the white water and we're having the time of our lives, paddling like crazy to take advantage of this opportunity where everything speeds up, where things accumulate, where blessings come, and we have to be ready to receive them. Plus hexagram 24, the return, that energy culminating as a second hexagram, in pointing us and indicating for us that the turning point towards better times has arrived. Perhaps even a return back to something of the past, okay? Going back to a better time, that might also be something of the past. When we look at those two stories together, we reflect back on April and we think to ourselves, what happened in April? Where was this increase accelerating? Where did I feel like I was on the white water, paddling in my kayak, just going for it? And understanding how to deal with that moment of just going for it and seizing the day, because it's only a short period of time and then things slow down again. For you, where was that acceleration happening? Where was the increase? Where was the growth and the growth spurt that comes with it? Where was that happening for you? What part of your life, your business or team was manifesting that energy? Plus the turning point. Where have you felt like now we've actually turned a corner on this thing? After the dark night, after the winter, the turning point towards spring. You know, I talk about this idea of the bear emerging out of the cave, starting to move after hibernation, finding its way. We're not yet in full summer and full bloom, but we're starting to move towards the light, towards a better time. Where did you feel that energy playing out for you in April? If anything came up, please do share a comment. Right, let's get into May as a theme for the month of May, bearing in mind that all 64 hexagrams in a way are online all the time. What we're doing here is we're asking the question, what should we really focus on this month? What is the most important theme collectively that we can work on, that we can see mirrored in our world? And when we see that mirrored, we can go, the I Ching says, the higher person, the master, responds to this moment in this way. Maybe I could make some choices of shifting how I habitually respond and move towards a new way, an improved way of dealing with the flows of change taking place around me. So in a way, it's an interesting storyline proceeding from last month. We had massive increase, and then we had the turning point, and we move now into hexagram 40, deliverance. Okay. Deliverance is also known as relief. Okay. All right. We've had the turning point from darkness towards light. And now we start moving towards a place of getting a bit of relief. Okay. Relief from the dark night, the long adventure, the long challenge, whatever the darkness in the cave has represented for you. This month, we're getting an opportunity to be delivered from that, to find relief, and to find a way of picking ourselves up and moving forward. This hexagram speaks to having overcome something really challenging, having overcome not just perhaps last month, but a bigger cycle of change that's been hammering away at our consciousness. And the picture I always love sharing with this hexagram is what happens the morning after a shipwreck. And you've been out at sea and you've been facing a terrible storm, and the wind and the waves have been battering the ship that you're part of, and you wake up like prone on the beach. Okay, you are intact, you're alive, you're bumped and bruised, but you are alive. And now you've got to figure out, initially, where on earth am I? Where am I? What am I actually alive here? Well, I landed up in some kind of spirit world beach. Where am I, right? And then once you realize, okay, I'm actually alive, I'm actually fine, I've actually survived, I've just been washed ashore, but I've got through the challenge and I'm still here. Then you have to make some choices about what to do next. Do you lie there for a while until you feel fully recovered? Or if you've got a place to go, if you've got a mission you're moving on, you pick yourself up and you get going. So this hexagram comes to bring us an awareness that we've overcome something. We are perhaps a little injured and a little bit weary and bumped and bruised, having come through that process, but we've reached a place of relief. We can use that place of relief to, recuperate and re-energize if we don't yet know what to do yet. Perhaps you've been through a big ordeal or a relationship breakup or some big difficulty in your life and you don't yet have a plan, right? You just have got through this thing. The best thing you can do is give yourself space and time in this month just to find your way, find yourself. But if you have been on a challenge and the challenge has spat you out on the beach and there is a mission you're on and there's important things to get done, by all means, get up, dust yourself off, have a nice hot shower, get into clean clothes, right? Have a nice hot meal and get busy on with it. For most of us, that is the case. We are on a mission, we've got things to do. So let's get doing with them. So you choose how you would like to deal with this moment of relief, this opportunity that May will provide us to have a little bit of breathing space, perhaps, or give us that relief, that energy to pick ourselves up, replenish the energy, and move on. Getting going with the next stage of the plan. Okay, that is your path to choose. Now, there are two changing lines in the second and the fourth position. I always like giving you timings for these lines because when we have the monthly, we have a bit more space, okay? It's easier in a way to see these kind of junction points as the changing lines move through the month. When the weeklies come, I don't do the timing because, it's a week. Once you pack it into 3 or 4 pieces, it's kind of irrelevant. So when we work with the monthlies, I always give you timing. So because we have 2 changing lines, the first changing line matures up until the 10th of May. And then the second line starts maturing from then up till the 20th of May. And then we start moving towards the end of May with full throttle second hexagram. Use that as a guideline. It is not a golden rule. All right, it's a way of helping us understand how these changing lines unpack. You might find both changing lines come right at you the whole month, right from the beginning, and that's the pattern. But just use it as a learning experience. My experience is you definitely feel each line kicking in one after the other. Sometimes not. Sometimes the hexagrams start talking to you a week or 2 weeks before you have this overview. Sometimes they're still talking to you a week, 2 weeks after. Just be open to whatever your process is your process. It's okay. All right, so in position 2, this changing line says, in the process of deliverance, okay, because we have got a theme of deliverance, of being delivered from a challenge. What we need to do is vigorously pursue our goals. Pursue the thing we're after, even if there's challenges, even if people come in our way or obstacles come in our way. For the first 10 days of this month, in particular, perhaps for you, it's a longer period, vigorously pursue the goals. Hunt down what you need. Okay, so that kind of in a way precludes this image that I put out there of an option of laying on the beach, staying prone, letting your senses come back to your life, in good time. That might be your path, but this changing line certainly says for the first 10 days of the month, the opportunity is there, the power is there to be delivered from something because we've put in energy and vigor and we've tackled it. This is akin to this idea of taking a bow and arrow, choosing a target and shooting a target, right? We aim and fire, right? There's a very vigorous energy about these first 10 days that will help us get delivered from a problem. Okay, so as much as this whole hexagram is talking about deliverance from a challenge, the changing lines bring us specific things that can help us accelerate our deliverance. And in the first 10 days of the month, our vigorous energy to tackle the issues in front of us, go for it, that is what we are needing to pay attention to. And then in the second block up until the 20th, give or take, is changing line number 4. And this changing line says the way we get deliverance, all right, is we become aware of where relationships and connections and deals that are with us, that are part of us, are not of the highest and the best or of value to us anymore, and we need to be delivered from them. We need to expel them. Okay. So the idea is that we go through life and we do things, and in the process we get clingers on, right? People who are jumping on the bandwagon, who want to feed off what we do, who want to be part of the success, want to be part of the story, whatever the journey is. And you get this kind of set of groupies that come with us. And then what happens is this group becomes so noisy that the real people that really want to engage with us, who really want to connect and network with us, don't, because the rabble is here, right? The noise, the inferior, the kind of noisy, empty vessels are all around us, hanging on for dear life, the leeches. And in order for us to receive that energy, that connection of those that are really wanting to connect with us, who are wanting to help us and engage, we have to get rid of some of the leeches. We have to make space. Okay, we have to show those other parties we're willing to let go of the riffraff. And so that is what we're being asked to pay attention to in the second phase of May, is being really hyper-tuned into the deals, the contacts, the people, the relationships where it's a hanger-on energy, okay, and it's in our way. The way we need to get deliverance is we need to make space, okay. We need to be conscious around all those things that are cluttering up the noise, things we said yes to because we didn't have a better option, or things we didn't know how to say no to. We all accumulate those things and we make space. And by making space, the right connection, the right flow, the right support to help us with deliverance can come and step into that void. So when we work with these two changing lines this month, we tune into this idea of where are we needing to put in vigor and energy and focus to shoot the hawk on the high hill, right? Get out that bow and arrow and take it down. Take down the things that are in our way. And where do we need to be conscious and tuned into these relationships that are glued onto us, right? The inferior people, the inferior deals, inferior thinking that we have tolerated, that we've accepted, we have gone along with, okay? We haven't even been party to making a conscious decision on, which is just as bad, all right? And where do we need to then accept that, embrace that, and release those to create space for the right connections that can deliver us into the next phase? All right, we can do this. All right, that leads to a second hexagram, a relating flow that builds up over the month. Okay, it lives with us. The story of the second hexagram always lives in parallel, but it tends to build up in energy that by the time we get to the end of the month, we're seeing the second hexagram more clearly, where the first situation and the changing lines are transforming towards. And this is hexagram 2, the receptive. You'll see all female lines, right? This is Mother Earth, right? The earth that is holding us all upon it, our little fragile, little beautiful blue dot that is life to all of us. So the earth, the symbol of earth, of dark soil in your hands. Okay, this is what we understand with this hexagram. The earth sits and it gives nourishment and life to the seeds and the things that live within it. It brings water and nutrients and nitrogen, and it brings those to the seeds, and the seed has its own program of growth, right? Its own male yang energy there, and the woman, okay, has the womb, right? And the earth has the nutrients, and you hold the space and you let the thing grow. So our task as we evolve into the latter half of the month is to support, okay? Very difficult to be in this total female energy of supporting the growth, supporting others, creating the environment, making sure everyone has what they need, being in that supportive space. This is like an operational support role, right? You wait for customers to engage and then you provide customers what they need. But the customer is the initiator. That's the idea behind this hexagram. We support the moment. We don't create the moment. We don't change the moment. We just provide the moment with what it needs. And I really feel that this is a powerful thing for us to learn this month as we learn to bring just the holding. That's all we have to do. We have to hold the space. We don't have to make new stuff. We don't have to regenerate. We don't have to carve a path. All we have to do is anchor the space, anchor the energy, hold that space, and allow the nutrients that we have, the skills and expertise and wisdom that we have to hold the space and to support it with what it needs. What are the seeds that are growing this month that need your tender, loving care, your support? That is what we're being asked to pay attention to. Not recreating our world, but supporting what is already there. A wonderful month, lovely energy to be delivered. Okay, a couple of power lines there for us to work with, some specific guidance of how we can activate deliverance in what we're trying to do, and the support that we can bring to others, and of course, the support that we can receive, because the hexagram is not just about us pouring out that support, but that support that comes to anchor and hold the space for our growth as well. Thank you so much for being here with me. If this was valuable to you, a thumbs up, a like would be great. And of course, you know what to do. If you want to get subscribed, hit the bell, all right, so you get notifications, hit the follow button on the podcast app. And I look forward to seeing you very soon for our first full weekly forecast for May. And until then, take care.